Hello and welcome to COM 1700 Interpersonal Communication, our summer online version of the course. My name is Dr. Annette Hamill and I will be your leader and guide and instructor on this journey we're about to embark upon. Please watch this video in its entirety. I made it so you'd have not only a chance to see and hear me, but a chance to get a comprehensive overview of the course so you know what to expect in the coming weeks. I'm going to be giving you an overview of the course content. What are the elements of this course and how do they work together? What kind of things will you be doing to earn your grade in this course? I'm going to talk about some of my course policies and procedures so you know what I expect from you. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of how we'll be using the e-learning site in this course. I imagine a lot of you are really familiar with e-learning and have probably used it in some of your face-to-face classes, but this is an asynchronous online course, which means that e-learning is going to be the primary way that we connect with one another and that I connect with you. So we're going to be using the e-learning site extensively in the next few weeks. I'd like to clear up some misconceptions that students sometimes have about online courses. And even if you've taken an online course before, this one might be different than ones you've taken in the past. Even if you've taken COM 1700 in the classroom before, and perhaps you're repeating the course right now, it's going to be different than what you've had before. So the first thing is, some people assume that an online course is easier. It's not. It's more challenging for a lot of us because we have to have self-motivation, self-discipline. We have to be able to create a routine for ourselves that works well and stick to it. So you don't have the routine of going to a face-to-face class, interacting with classmates, interacting with a teacher in person. That can make it more difficult for a lot of people to get on schedule and keep up. The summer session moves really fast. It's a 15-week semester compressed into 7 weeks. So we're going to be moving right along and you can't afford to get behind. All right, the second misconception is the idea that an online course takes less time than a face-to-face course. Now think about this. If you take a 3-credit class in the classroom, that's about 3 hours of classroom time a week. This is a 3-credit class, okay? Were you expecting to spend at least 3 hours a week working on course material? You should, okay? In a classroom class, you'd be there for an hour and a half twice a week, and then you would be doing some reading and homework outside of class, right? So let's say for a 3-credit class, let's call it 4 hours a week or 5 hours a week. You should plan to spend at least that amount of time on this online course. So again, I would really recommend you get out your calendar, get out your planner, look for chunks of time, say I am going to spend this chunk of time on these days working on COM 1700. Okay, and the third bullet point here, another misconception is that you can work at your own pace. That might be true of some online courses. There are self-paced online courses out there in the world. This is not one of them. Okay, and I want to make sure everybody understands that. We will have a calendar, we will have a schedule, we will have assignments with due dates each week. And we're going to be moving through the schedule together as a group. You're all going to turn something in. I'm going to be grading that. We'll move on to the next exercise. Okay. I can't have everybody turning everything in the last week. This isn't that kind of course. So plan on having due dates and assignments and quizzes every week from now until the end of the semester. We will be using a textbook for this course. It is an ebook. The cover is pictured here and a link to purchase it directly from the publisher. Now, you can go to the WMU bookstore and buy an access code that will allow you into the book, but it is cheaper to buy it directly from the publisher. So if expense is a concern, I recommend you buying it through this link. Okay, you will notice that I am the author of the book. I want to assure you that professors don't write textbooks to make money. The royalties are pennies a copy in most cases. I wrote my own book because out of all the interpersonal textbooks that are out there on the market, I wanted to present certain material in a particular way that I thought was most useful for students, that was most relatable, that was most applicable to the outside world, and that was most understandable. So I wanted to provide you with a book that was not a ponderous academic tome, but was very readable and very interesting and had a lot of fun examples. So that is what I expect you will find in this book. Being an ebook, it has some cool features, one of which is hover overs. So as you're reading the textbook on your screen, if you hover your cursor over a vocabulary word, a definition box will pop up. That can be very useful to remind you what the definition of the term is. At the end of every chapter, there are flashcards that you can use to study from. At the beginning and end of each chapter are the learning objectives for that chapter, a list of bullet points that says, after studying this chapter, you should know these things. So it's kind of like a built-in study guide. When you have a quiz or an exam over that chapter, you can look to those learning objective bullet points and say, can I do all these things? Can I list these things? Can I explain these things? So the ebook format has been really useful in my courses, and students seem to like it quite a lot because it makes the book portable and no heavier than whatever device that you have it on. Now, quick note, at the end of each chapter in the ebook, there are some exercises. We're not going to be using those. We're going to be using the exercises that I post on e-learning, okay? And I'll talk about those in a moment. The best way for you to use the e-learning site in an asynchronous class is to sign on at the beginning of the week, look at what's in the module for that week. How much do you need to read? What are you being asked to do? Take a quiz, write a paper, what have you. And even if you're not going to do the work right then, it gives you a chance to think about how much time it's probably going to take and where in your week you can fit it in. Now, due dates are usually at the end of the week, but I really encourage you not to wait until the last afternoon or evening to do your work, because learning takes time. It takes time to take in new information and to make it a part of you, to think of connections between that information and your everyday life. Cramming doesn't work very well for most of us. This isn't really about memorization. It's about learning. It's about being able to apply what you've learned. And I really want this to be a great experience for you and for you to leave this course with ideas that you can find useful in your everyday life. The best way to do that will be to take the learning at a measured pace. Okay, cramming just is not effective and it adds a lot of stress to your life. Also, this is a new semester and this course format might be a new experience for you. So it's a chance to kind of have a reset and think, okay, I'm going to be a little more strategic during this next 7 weeks in how I plan my work, and try it out, see how it works. Take a look at that schedule and make it your own and map it out the best way for you. I'm happy to help you if you want to do that. If you want to sit down with the schedule and your planner and have a one-on-one meeting with me and map out how you're going to plan your semester. I've reproduced the first page of e-learning here so that I can point out certain menu items that we'll be using most often in this asynchronous online course. You'll see I have arrows pointing to content, communications, and assessments. Let's talk about what you'll find under each of those. First of all, the content menu. When you click on content, you're going to find a list of folders, and each of those folders is a module, which is the content for a week. Okay, so a week 1 module or a week 2 module. When you open that up, you will find the course materials for that week. You'll find videos, assignment sheets, explanations of what you need to do for the week, that kind of thing. So I really recommend that early in the week, open up that week's module and see what it is that you will be asked to do. The communications menu is where you find discussion boards. Now, we're not going to be doing assignment discussion boards in this course, but there is going to be a discussion board set up for just general conversation. So I welcome you to check that out. I'm going to put some introductory information there for myself, and I invite everybody to go there, introduce yourself. I love to see pictures or videos of your pets. So if you want to post that as a way of helping us get to know you, that would be fantastic. Vacation photos, photos of kids, just saying hello to the group or talking about what your plans are for later in the summer. Anything like that would be very welcome and enjoyable on the discussion board. And then the third menu item that we'll be using quite a bit is the assessments menu. That is where you find quizzes, exams, and drop boxes. So the assessments menu is where you're going to be submitting stuff. It's like where you submit your homework, okay? Be it an exam, a quiz, or a paper that you wrote and saved and you're going to upload to a Dropbox. Anything like that, just remember the assessments menu is where you turn in your homework. On this slide, I have reproduced the schedule page of the syllabus, which is the last page. You want to look at that carefully, download it, save it to your computer, print it out, whatever it will take for you to have it handy to follow as we go through the next few weeks. So let's look at what this entails. On the left-hand side, you see week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. That corresponds to the module numbers on e-learning. So if we're in week 3 of the semester, you'll open up module 3, for example, to see what's in there and to do your work. You'll notice the second column says dates. That is the Sunday when things are due. So module 1 that we're going to be starting now will end on Sunday, May 14th. Okay, so those are your due dates. And then you have the assignment column, and this tells you what you're going to need to do that week. So let's look at week 1, which is ending on Sunday, May 14th. You will need to read chapter 1 and take the chapter 1 quiz, read chapter 2 and take the chapter 2 quiz, and do reflection 1, which is a short paper, which you will turn in by uploading it to the Dropbox on e-learning. Those things are all under the assessments menu. Okay, week 2, week 3, week 4, as you go down, you'll see that there are 2 chapter quizzes most weeks. Your first exam happens in week 3, which is covering the first 4 chapters, and you have a reflection that week. So plan accordingly. There's a lot of material to take in a short period of time here. Again, I recommend you print this page out or save it on your desktop or whatever it is that you need to do to have it in front of your eyes frequently. So the next thing you want to do is sign on to e-learning, open up the course, and look over what's there. Look around the e-learning site, see how things are laid out. Start by examining everything in the Start Here module. That's where you'll find the materials that you need to get you going with the course, such as the syllabus and other useful information before you start. Then, when you've looked at everything in the Start Here module, you can go to Module 1 and start your coursework. Complete this week's assignments by Sunday night, and contact me if you have any questions. My email address is there. I answer emails pretty quickly. That's always the best way to get a hold of me. And if you would like to meet over WebEx, we can certainly do that. All right, I'm glad you're here. I'm really looking forward to a great summer session. Contact me if you have any questions or concerns. Please remember to go into the discussion board to introduce yourself. It's not graded, but I would love to learn more about who you are. And I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.